Hey, it's Jason with Denwerks. Got something really cool. Today it's a 1969 Ford F-250 camper special. It's a Ranger package. Really, really nice old truck. It was a one owner family, basically, but a lady and her husband had bought it in Spokane, Washington area, and which is eastern Washington. And they bought it brand new, and they used it for camping and different things. And it's funny because they never actually put a camper on it, but they pulled a little trailer that they had and had a canopy that was on it, and then they would sleep in the back. So it was really a treat to meet her. Actually, I bought it from her son, who they had gave it to a few years back, but I actually met her and actually bought it from her because she had it back at her place. So we'll just do a little walk around. It's really a nice driver. You can hear it. We'll rev it up a little bit. You know, sounds real good. So we'll just start from the front to the back. We'll turn the headlights on. You can see the marker lights, headlights, bright lights. We got right and we got the left. You can see right up there, I need to fix this. There's two little lights out, but they were working, so we need to do that. Go ahead and turn your lights off. So it's always fun to get out doing videos and stuff, and I don't do a lot of cuts and different things, so sometimes a mistake happens, and there we go. So I'll fix that, but they were working, so something must have happened. So anyways, if you look down the side, pretty nice and straight for an old truck. You know, it's not too bad. It has been repainted one time. I'd love to call it a survivor. I mean, basically it is, but it has been repainted, and it was back in the 80s. You know, it does have a little bit of cloudiness, a little bit on some of the paint on the top surfaces. You know, but it is actually, you know, pretty glossy in general, but you got to keep wax on it. And when I got it, it was super faded. Out in the sun, it just glistens, but here you can just see, you know, just a little bit of fade on top of the paint. You can see little chips that have been touched up, general things. When I walk around and I point at different things, it's because I'm pointing at a chip in general. There was a little dirt because we've been driving it, but in general, if I'm pointing at things, it's because I'm pointing at scratches or little chips, and you can watch it in the video. I won't mention every tiny one on it, but I just wanted to show you. This is I think up to 1969 was the last year of the full aluminum grill. They went to plastics, or I think it had maybe a metal surround, but it went to plastic grills and stuff like that. So it's nice to see the all aluminum grill. And it's actually in pretty good shape. You're going to see little dings, you know, just a little bit of road rash on different things. But overall, looks in really nice shape. I love the bumper guards, that those are still on it. When I got it too, you'll see a picture of an original brochure, and it was the exact same truck. You know, it was red, you know, the blackout around the headlights, and even the interior is the same, but it had fog lamps on it across the front. You'll see a picture of her standing next to it, and we took all the fog lamps off and just put bolts, and that's what those are. You can see a little damage on the bumper right there, but overall, really nice quality. And the nice thing here, it's not all rusty across the bottom of the hood. You know, the chrome's pretty nice around the lights. I did put factory wheels back on it. It had Mojocks on it, different tires, so I put brand new tires on it as well. And these are Forza highway terrain. They're LTs. You can see it right there. It's an LT 235 85 16. That would have been the size on it back in the day, but they probably wouldn't have called it a 235. And they put original hubcaps on it, so it took a little bit to find those, but I wanted to put original ones on. If you look in the brochure, that is a factory light blinker. In '68 they started putting marker lights in cars. You can see the camper special. You know, no rust on the fenders. They look actually really nice. You can see little chips here. These are factory mirrors. You can see Ford right there. And this one here's got a little bit of pitting on it. You know, the rest of this is all stainless, but this piece isn't. You know, the bottom of the door on this side looks really good. You know, the trim actually is nice. You know, most of these trucks, you don't see it with all this trim. So this is actually a nice addition to this truck from the factory. You can see a little chip that's been touched up here. You know, around the seams, this is actually a bad spot usually where they can get rusty. Around the gutter, it's actually really nice as well. Turn that cargo light on back here. You can see here this light works. So that's nice. You can see this seam. This is the body seam where they put a little of the seam sealer. On the other side, it did get a little rusty in a couple little spots, which is pretty common in general. So it'll have to be fixed down the road. It's not too bad, but you might want to attend to it eventually, you know, especially if you decide to paint it. If you look around the bed, it looks really nice. If you look inside here, I just put this in here, but there's the original radio. And you can see the original bedside toolbox. It's in good shape. I do not have a key to it, so don't lock it. So it needs to be rekeyed. You look at the bottom of the cab there, looks in really nice shape. This is pretty cool too. It's kind of funny because it's a factory flaw. If you look at the little stripes here in between the chrome, they actually had a machine that did it. But if you look here, the machine fell off to the side. It's just a factory flaw. You know, hopefully it's like some kind of coin or something like that, where it's worth a bunch more money because it had a factory flaw. Probably not, but I'm hoping. Ranger badges, actually in pretty nice shape. We'll go around the back here. You can see some little chips and scratches there. The reverse lights don't work. Go ahead and turn the lights on, and brakes, then blinkers. Got your left, and we got right, and even the license plate works. You know, this truck's been driven. It's you know, got registration until 19 here in Oregon. You know, the tailgate looks in nice condition. You can see a little bit of flaking on the handle here. And those are actually pretty easy to find or have it re-chromed, but I see those on eBay a lot of times for, you know, $15 to $50 depending on who's got them. You can see a little paint flake right here with the original paint underneath of it. You know, the bed looks really good. You know, when I got it, had a piece of wood underneath here, and it had the canopy. That's why you're going to see different little holes on the top there. It's funny, the canopy that was on it was called, it's all aluminum. It's actually a really cool canopy. It said Slick Chick was the model. So you only get that in the late 60s and 70s. But the bed's actually in really nice condition overall. You can see around here on the front. You know, nice shape. You can see some of the original paint underneath there, but really solid. Look at the bed on this side. Here's where all those little bubbles I was talking was coming through the seam. You know, you could knock all those off there and treat it and touch them up, but I just probably leave them. It just depends what you're doing with the truck. But if you painted it, there might be some little pinholes underneath here, but wouldn't be too hard to fix. You can see it right there, and you can see it right here. And this is actually where one of the little bubbles popped off there, so there's metal behind it, but there's probably going to be some pinholes, but I think it's definitely repairable. Pretty easy. The rest of the bed looks nice. Chrome looks good. You know, it's just a really nice driver, you know, not perfect. And mechanically, the truck looks and sounds pretty good. So we drive it a lot, actually, so it's a nice little truck. We went over the brakes. We did a lot of engine stuff, put a new timing change on it, put another exhaust manifold on it, and gaskets on both sides. I think I said oil pan gasket. We serviced the transmission, went through all the brakes, new master, new wheel cylinders all the way around. So I'll probably be redundant and talk about that later, but you know, it's just a nice truck. You can see a little tiny bubble there and a couple little chips, a little bit of gas spillage there, and then you can see a little rust in the bottom of the door. When I show you the interior, I'll show you that some more, but back of the cab looks good. We'll put it on my lift so you can see it. You know, I'm sorry to beat my own truck up so bad, but I just want you to know exactly what you're getting. And you know, I'll probably miss stuff here and there and things. I'm just trying to show you as much as I can. You're gonna see all the photos and different things too, but pretty excited about this truck. It's really has a nice look, especially with all the chrome. So we'll go ahead and show you some more stuff. Hey, just wanted to take a look at the interior. First, I just wanted to show you that the door locks do work. You can see a little bit of pitting on the door handle too. But overall, interior looks really in good shape, you know, very original. I believe this is the original seat. And the material here is a little stiff, a little bit faded out in areas. I don't know if someone painted this or, you know, fabric dyed it at one point, you know, but it does have, you know, quite a bit of fade. It just feels like a little bit rough in general, but not too bad. You know, you look at the rest of the seat, in pretty nice shape overall, except there is a couple little tears right here. You can see that. And if you look right here, the carpet's original in general. You know, it's got two fuel tank shut-offs and stuff, and I haven't messed around with that, turned them off or anything like that. I didn't want to pump a bunch of gas in here and then all of a sudden it doesn't work. So if you look at the dash, it's in really good condition overall, but you'll see the little crack like that I showed you on the other side. Headliner looks really good. You know, it does have a little warping, but it is the original headliner overall. Steering wheel, you know, it's the correct steering wheel, but I don't know if it's the original, because I think it should be maroon. You can see a little stress crack right there. You know, it's pretty typical on these wheels, but the important thing is out here, you know, it's an easy wheel to restore because it's not all cracked out on this side. The horn doesn't work, I do know that, and it might be just in here. And you know, we just haven't had time to, you know, we're working on so much of the mechanical of it, you know, engine work, and we did put a new timing chain in it. I forgot to mention that when we were showing the engine, and oil pan and everything, but in service the transmission. I was just worried about a lot of that stuff before we moved to our new shop and house, you know, because we work in a shop behind our house and stuff. So we just wanted to get it up for sale and get all the mechanicals done. So it does need a few little things, but overall solid truck, you know. So if you look at the door panels, deluxe doors, someone put speakers in it, you know, they're there. I would prefer not to do that. I would probably prefer down here, but you know, they did it there. You could get a new door panel if you wanted, so I guess it is better they maybe did it there instead of here, but you know, they're there and radio sounds nice. You'll probably need new window channels. You can see around the jams look good. The rubber all looks good all the way around, but you'll see a couple little cracks. I probably wouldn't worry about that very much, because if it did leak, it's going to leak down on the ground anyways. These little screws right here, there was a little plate, kind of like a little scuff plate, and it actually made me kind of nervous because a lot of Chevys and stuff rust right there, and I wanted to take them off, make sure it wasn't rusty, and it's, as you can see, it's not. But I just put the screws back in the little holes. You're going to see a little rust right here in the corner of the door. You can see it a little bit underneath here. You know, it's very repairable, but I'd probably, if it was me, I'd probably just clean it as good as I could and just protect it until I decided to fix that. You know, if I painted the truck down the road. You can see underneath the rest of the door though is really nice condition. So we'll go ahead and show you some more stuff on the truck. Thanks for looking. Hey, here we are on the passenger side. Real quick, I just wanted to show you the door locks do work on this door as well. Same key. But just wanted to take a look at the interior from this view. You know, again, it's a nice shape. You can see the dash is in really good condition. A couple little cracks right here where the speaker hole is. You can see here that the headliner is in great condition. Cargo light works there, or interior light. And actually you can manually turn that on with a switch, and then there's an actuator. You can see here. It doesn't work on, actually on the other side this is actually missing. It's not working on that side. So if you look inside the jam, really a nice condition actually. You know, I haven't seen any major issues, or you know, especially inside here where there's been any damage or anything like that. You know, inside the door, like on the other side, it was rusty here. This one's actually really nice. You know, you can see a little bit of the overspray, but overall, I mean, this is just a solid old truck, and I think someone will have a good time with it. You can see here the little chrome is coming off the edge there. You know, pretty typical, but you know, it's nice that this truck's a, you know, a deluxe truck with the wood grain. You know, it is a Ranger, so really nice overall. Hey, just wanted to show you underneath the hood. This little latch. We did a lot of nice things underneath the hood in general. You know, it looks good. We did a major detail, but we did put new exhaust manifold gaskets on it, and we put new valve cover gaskets. We just put an oil pan gasket. You know, we just did a lot of detail work to the engine, and you know, it looks like it's been rebuilt, but it hasn't. But you know, after we took the oil pan off and stuff, I believe that it probably has been rebuilt at some point. I couldn't tell you when. I don't have receipts. We rebuilt the brake system in it. You know, new cylinders and everything, new master. It's got power brakes. Power steering works good. We just flushed out the system. You know, new radiator fluid. Changed all the oil. You know, the gearbox oil in the rear end and stuff. So we did a lot of mechanical things to it. We did put a new exhaust manifold on it because one of them had a crack in it. But you can see here, this is the windshield wiper squirter. You know, you can see it's, you know, just gotten brittle, and it's not working currently. But you know, overall, looks really nice underneath the hood. We just wanted to preserve it and, you know, make it look nice. So I do that even to my personal rigs. You know, and that way, if you clean them up like this, you can see there's, you know, issues and stuff like that down the you know, in the future and stuff. So hopefully that gives you a good look. Go ahead and rev it up just a little bit. You know, sounds great. It is a 2-barrel carburetor as well. It's not a 4-barrel, but you know, it is a 390. You know, it's kind of neat too that the factory shroud is still on there. A lot of times those get taken off, and it actually has new belts on it. So anyways, we'll show you some more stuff. F-250. You know, this is just a really nice driving truck. You know, 1969. You know, 49 years old. I mean, I can't believe it. You know, my grandpa actually had one of these trucks back in the day, and I remember sitting in the driveway playing, you know, shifting gears and all this stuff. And here I am in 2018, kind of doing the same thing as, you know, when I was like 5 or 6 years old, sitting out in the driveway. So these trucks bring back a lot of memories for me, and you know, especially this one being a camper special. He had a camper on his, and we pull our boat, you know, his boat, out to the lakes and stuff like that. Me and my grandpa and grandma would fish all day, so it was fun. So this truck is just a nice cruising truck, and you know, heavy duty suspension. You can see that it is a 4-speed transmission. You can take off in second. You don't have to take off to first, but if you wanted to, you know, pull some stumps out of the ground, throw one in first, and there you go. You know, the dash and everything's not working in here right now. You can see the speedometer, odometer works. It says 30,707. I assume it's rolled over at least once. But the fuel gauge isn't working, the amp gauge isn't working, and the temp gauge isn't working. Oil pressure reads awesome. You know, it's over halfway. The blinkers work in the dash. Hopefully you can see that while we're driving here. And the horn doesn't work, but the cigarette lighter works. Not because I condone smoking. It's just if you want to put your USB in there, you can charge your iPhone. You can see here it's red hot. You know, you got your choke, and it's got an automatic choke on it, so you don't need that anymore. Cargo light for the back. You can turn the dome light on, and over here off the headlight switch. And this is really cool. Actually, it's got nav. If you look up here, you know, who knew that they put navigation system in 1969. So, and also the horn doesn't work. You know, I wanted to get all that stuff working on the truck, but I focused on a lot of other things. But you know, as before, we were talking about moving and stuff like that, moving our shop and our house and stuff. I just didn't get to complete it. So if you look right here too, the heater, you can hear the fan working. You know, so the heater works. There's no issues with that. So we'll go ahead and cruise here in a minute and pull over, and I'll go ahead and show you some more stuff here. So enjoy. Hey, here we are. We're going to take a look at the Ford underneath. You know, you're still going to see still photos and everything, but I just wanted to do videos underneath too, so you can just see different components and, you know, structure and stuff. You know, when I first go look at a car in person, you know, I'll look at it on the outside, and probably within 5 minutes I'm underneath looking at everything, looking at the frame, looking at the floor, you know, just, you know, everything. You know, it's just the most important thing. You know, any car can look pretty on the outside, but structure's everything, especially when you're talking about rust and, you know, accidents and problems. So this is actually probably one of the last cars we're gonna do a video of in the shop here, because we're moving. So I've taken everything off the walls and moved all the cars, and the lift's leaving tomorrow. So it'll be nice to go on to a new journey and bigger shop at our house. Still going to have it behind the house, but just kind of bittersweet. You know, we've done a lot of work here in this shop, so we're going to go ahead and walk underneath here and take a look. I thought this was kind of cool. If you look right here, it's the original sticker for the bumper. Pretty neat. You know, you look at the frame, you're going to see some surface rust and stuff. It's, you know, but no rust through or anything like that. Really, really solid and looks good. If you look up here behind, you know, no signs of any accidents or anything. Really, really clean. You know, we did detail the motor. We did put a new oil pan gasket, new valve cover gasket. You know, it has new motor mounts, new exhaust manifold, gaskets, brand new tires. You can see the knobbies are on them. You know, I mentioned before I put the original wheels back on and hubcaps. We service the transmission as well. And what I mean by that, we put a new gasket here, flush the fluid, put new fluid and everything. Clutch felt good, so we didn't, you know, mess around with that. You can see brand new shocks. You know, the hoses are good. We rebuilt all the brakes, new master cylinder, wheel cylinders and everything. Very, very clean. We hit all the Zerk fittings as well. Just want to take a look at the cab. You know, really, really nice. You know, if you look inside the rockers, they look good. All the floor extensions look great. Floors look nice. You see this? It's not rusty here, just the undercoating came off. You can see all the body mounts. You know, not rusty or anything like that. You can see these bushings here could probably be replaced down the road. You know, they're still functionable, but I would probably replace those on it at some point. But it still drives nice. You know, they're just original. If you look here at the cab, again, really nice. You know, no rust. You can see the back of the cab is nice. You can see here they did have a little patch right here on the inside, and there's a little bit of rust right there. Pretty minor, but the back of the cab is actually really clean. Go ahead and look here on the back of this side of the cab. Really nice condition. You know, for a truck, I mean, this thing's really solid. It looks nice. We hit all the Zerks on the U-joints. We replaced the gasket on the rear end. You can see original tag, CATA. Hopefully you can see that. You can see there's a new wheel cylinder. And again, this is just surface rust back here. You know, spare tire isn't new, but it looks actually in really good shape. I was going to show you the up here the transmission. You can see the tag. We'll take a picture of that so you can read it as well, but you can see it's got dual exhaust as well, and it kicks out there on the side with glass packs. You know, the amazing thing about this truck is, you know, it's pretty much a one family owned all of its life, kind of a survivor. You know, so it's been cared through through the years, and it really shows. So anyways, if you got more questions, let me know. You can email me and give me a call. You know, make comments on Bring a Trailer. Be glad to help. See you later. I'm teaching Nolan here how to drive a stick. Actually, he's been doing pretty good. You know, I have a 1986 Saab 900 turbo, and that's actually where he learned to drive a manual transmission. So now we've let him upgrade to, you know, the big rigs here. I might even let him pull a car trailer because we're getting ready to move today. So we're moving our shop and house, so that'll be exciting. We're gonna have a shop that's probably about 3 times as big, but you know, still a barn out behind my house, which is still gonna be fun. You know, we can have our kids over and, you know, mess around out there and have family and stuff, and we just have a good time out there. So, and especially if you want to come and visit, bring a lot of root beer and snacks for Stanley. We always take visitors, so we'll have a nice time. So say a little prayer for me today as I'm driving with Nolan over 35 miles an hour now.